Good day, everybody. Welcome to technology. So I have a short video that I'm making here to explain this next activity, both for those of you that are going to be in my Zoom class and those of you that don't make the Zoom class. You really need to be in the Zoom class. It's a lot more, you get a lot more explanation when you're in the class. So anyway, we're going to be doing Unit 3, Lesson 2, which is called Drawing Shapes. So if you go up to Classroom, Classwork, I have it up here. It says scheduled for tomorrow. When you guys see it, it'll most likely be down here at the bottom. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to go ahead and open it up. All right, so the other day, I created a file for everybody called code.org journal. And you can find that code.org journal. I'll show you where it can be found here in just a second. Let's see. Hit this again. I'm going to go back to the beginning of the page here. If I go back to all of my classes, see, mine look a little bit different than yours. If you see this little folder right here and click on it, it'll have everything that's in the class that belongs to you. So anything that I have assigned for you. So it's right here. It says mycode.org journal. This is where you're going to answer questions that I post at the beginning of class. And at the end of class, a lot of times I might have a question that you need to answer based on what we learned that day. Okay, so I'm going to click Get Open. Mycode.org journal. You're going to put your name in there. And these are questions from a couple of days ago that still need to be answered if you didn't answer them. Up here, you can go ahead and I think your name will automatically appear up here since it's going to be in your folder. All right, so that's where you find your journal. All right. Then I'm going to go back to my class. And I'm going to go back up to classwork. And I'm going to go back to drawing shapes. All right, so we are using code.org. So it says here the question of the day, how can we clearly communicate how to draw something on a screen? So that's the question that you need to answer in the journal that I just showed you how to open. When you're all done that, we're going to go to code.org. So I'm going to click on code.org. Now I'm probably already logged in here, so I'm going to sign myself out. So for you guys to log into code.org, I've made it very, very simple. We click on the sign in button. And you're going to hit continue with Google, and you're going to use your school Google account. So once you click on continue with Google, it'll list any Google account that you have hooked up to your computer or your phone. You want to use the one that is the stu.mtcps.org. Okay, now I'm going to use this one because I'm the teacher and that's my teacher email. So once you do that, it will automatically bring you to code.org into my class because I've already assigned everybody into a class. All right, so whether you're my first hour or my fifth hour, you're going to go to Unit 3. Okay, so I think it might automatically open for you guys, but I clicked on Unit 3 and I'm going to show you where we're going. And for us, it is Lesson 2, Plotting Shapes. So you're going to have to, when we go to these pages, you are expected, okay, to read this information. All right. Lesson overview. This is what it'll look like on your screen. This is where the work is. This is a very, very short lesson, and it's a pretty simple lesson. The only thing that I need you to learn how to do is to describe how to draw on the computer screen. And when we talk about drawing on the computer screen, I'm going to go ahead and click on the drawing shapes. You can see that it's a circle. That means there's an activity there. So we click on that. And those of you that were in my Zoom class the other day, this is a familiar page. This here is the screen where when we run a program, the program will run on this screen. Up here it says explore using this tool that lets you draw different colored shapes. Choose a color to change the color of the shapes. Click on a shape every time you want to draw a new shape. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to experiment a little bit. You know, goof around. You can go, this will turn everything black and white. This will keep everything in color. So you choose your shape, You choose your color, and you can see that it's going to put a red square on there. So there's only two shapes to keep it simple. All right, and let's just choose another color. So I want you guys to figure out how you could describe drawing a shape on here. So for example, I'm going to reset it. If you had a partner and your partner was trying to describe to you how to draw a shape, they would have to know exactly where that shape was supposed to appear on this screen. And if you look carefully, when I move around, there's an X value and a Y value. If you were here in the last Zoom meeting, you would remember that if you click on the Show Grid button, this will help you figure out where to position things on the screen. It's different than a grid in math class. The 0, 0 is up here. 0x, 0y value is right up here. Each one of these big dark lines is 100. Each one of these little gray lines, okay, is 50. So if we count, we have 0, 100, 200, 300, 400, and 0. So 400 is the x value, y is the, or 0 is the y value there. So we have 100, 200, 300, 400 down here. So it's 0 is the x value, y is the 400 value. So if I were to plot right in the middle here, it would be 200, 200, if I could get it exact. There it is. So x value is 200, y value is 200. So I want you to be able to describe to somebody. So your job is to hit the run button. And I want you to draw me a picture, something simple. So for example, let's say I wanted to draw a car. You know what? I'm going to put a couple of wheels on the car. So I use a red circle for each wheel. For the body of the car, I'm going to, let's see, kind of figure it out here. Boom. And we'll do another green one. Boom. Wow, isn't that amazing? Very beautiful car. I'm very good at this. And now that is probably the worst looking car that you'll ever see in your life. However, we're working with what we got. So now your job, when we go back to the activity, is to click on this drawing shapes Google Doc when you're all done. And this is a description of the activity. Click on lesson 3 or unit 3, lesson 2 and read the information, and it describes what we just did. Then I want you to write me your description on exactly how you would describe how to draw whatever picture you just drew. So you would have to come up with something. So if you were going to if you wanted your partner's screen to look exactly like this one, now mind you, it's not exactly perfect, but how would I describe where this red wheel went? I would have to use these grid lines. So we would have to figure out what this grid line is. Now the tricky part is when you're drawing, if I go with a square, notice where the little arrow is. What part of the square is it on? Is it in the middle? Is it on the side? Where is it? So if I wanted to describe how to put this square right here, what grid points would I use? That's what you need to figure out, okay? So that's essentially what we're doing today. You're going to figure out how to draw, which is simple, but figure out how to describe where the things on the screen go, okay? And that's it. So you're just going to type me a little answer down here, probably about 4 or 5 sentences. Spelling counts, so be careful. And this will be due, I think I put the due date on as Sunday, but it won't take you that long. So anyway, that's it.